Back to another episode live for the Kingdom of Pinya, trying to fix the country a little, kind of simulate. I'm watching a lot of videos on crown power, um, control. So is, uh, what I've been doing is I've been creating a shortcut. Also been working on ranks, like the pins down here on things that I go to more often. Um, which I like the system because I think it kind of be unlimited. I've seen some creators where it's like all over. So once I kind of learned a lot of the hotkey things a little quicker, but I've been kind of upgrading everything in gray, everything in reddish orange. These the rural areas, so they're currently being upgraded. And then what I do is as soon as they upgrade it, I add in a temple, which gives a little bit more control. Go to the key control. So you see some of the buildings that I've already started. Obviously, the further you go out, the harder it is to get control. But at the very least, it's like getting towns across all of these. Now, as soon as you get the towns, you can't upgrade them to cities, unfortunately, unless they have 30,000 um, people. So you're somewhat limited um, to cities that to how many cities you can put in, right? Otherwise, in Pareto Rome, you would just kind of create cities in everywhere and just kind of blob, and you'd be able to create as many buildings as you want. So the reality is, you like kind of create these city centers. Like New York City has like the suburban areas that kind of feed, right? That's where all the jobs are. Um, so that's what I've been doing. I noticed that my vassal is disloyal, and I just am in the middle of creating a casus belli against him as a disloyal subject. I'm not sure if I'm able to return some of the provinces to my vassal that he took in a war. Um, but I'm gonna look at it. So it's currently being developed. The other thing I learned was you should never put a noble on the cabinet because it kind of increases their power in the estates. When I started this, we had about 15%. It's slowly tricking up. I think as we build these towns with low power, it actually kind of goes down, and then when you add the temples, it adds more. So it's been slowly trickling up. I'm trying to get this above 25% just because see the estate debuff. In addition, you have to kind of increase the stability so I can start to remove some of these privileges. But particularly in nobility, I think that the clergy and the burghers, I'm not as worried about. Like, you still want them to be happy, but I'm not going to worry about removing those at the moment, right? Like, the burghers are happy. I'm getting less money from him, but I'm not really worried about money. I'm making 9 ducats a month, so it's pretty easy to kind of get that. So a lot of micro. Like, until I kind of got a game plan, I didn't want to like record anything because it rather boring. But as I start to build, as these start to finish, I'll show you like what I've been kind of doing on like the next step. Um, the other thing is like innovations, institutions. Um, Institutions has not even started to spread to my countries. It's nowhere in China. Um, and we're talking about just the Renaissance. It's already the colonial, which is just starting to spread to India itself. I think that's outside my colonial range anyway. I might have to play around and look at like the market itself if there's ways to kind of import. Get that now. There's trade that can happen from Kataka from Orissa. We can export, but we can't import. Building needs Kataka. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So, all right. As those buildings start to finish, um, start to finish. You can see the control of it right now is 26. Stays the same. Up slightly. But now if you add economy, buildings, and scroll down to temples, I don't yet have a counting house, which I gotta get into the Renaissance. I can build those. But now I'm building 4 of those temples. See, it's starting to creep up too. They're not far from uh, they're not far from my capital. Um, so the reality is, it's just trying to like spider out, increase that proximity. I spy network. Go to war with them anytime soon. Um, 55, 68, 23, 5. Better education. Oh, I don't have my put in somebody. So, what I've been told, you should never put any of the nobles there. It just kind of increases their power. So I'm going to try to hire a courtier that's um, oh no, here. So he has good diplomacy. He's in control, but maybe he should do some diplomacy. value. Love to similarly pops into our culture. Okay, so still kind of gaining some money. All right, so those are built. See, um, I now have 17,000 troops. I think the last time I looked at it was around 15. I was kind of starting this whole process. So let's continue doing that. Gather a little bit more money. Kind of do it mass. Location ranks. So I have that Casus Belli on. Get this last one, and then I'll have clean all town swarm. All right, so let's go back to my crownlands. See what I have. Value states. It dropped because I've been adding cities or towns to places with zero control. But it slowly creeps back up quickly. Kind of ebb and flow between the nobles and the crown. So the thought process is you're trying to steal the power from the nobles, who in this time historically had all of the power. That's why the kingdoms kind of collapse at the time, right, as they kind of blob. So until you kind of get this power base, it's tough to kind of blob any further because it's kind of back to policy. I have this union with Khmer and Ayutthaya, and I'm the senior. Right, we all have the same emperor. Um, you can do the vote for diplomats, so you get more diplomats. It's full. Pay for diplomats. But whatever. It seems to be something that they will vote on. So, I lose that. Why, like, parliament kind of for these actions. I think you a little bit more worthwhile on these things. But you have to select one of those. reach out to our faith. If the debate passes, that's pretty good actually. Probably gonna be impossible to pass. I'm gonna have to lose from clergy. And the nobles. Get it. Alright, so now he should have more skill. Only help. So let's look at this declare war. To soil subjects. I guess I can't do anything about that then. Alright, let's keep doing what we were doing then. These units are about to pass. Or these buildings are about to build again. I'm almost at stab, so maybe what I do is estates. I want to get rid of this one because you're losing the levy size. I mean the revoke privileges. I need to. It's 169 stab, and the max is 100. So we're gonna go into pretty stab hit. But unfortunately, it's what needs to happen. All those. Have one more. Let's wait till this finishes. All right, so those are done. Buildings. Go back to the temples. And we'll build all 5. Again, crownlands is creeping up above 18% again. I'm gonna do this one because clergy, from what I can tell, helps everything. And with this union, I've noticed that like I'm not as worried about these rebels kind of breaking my country because it's a defensive war when they attack, so to speak. So the rebels attack, the Mizo rebels will attack, or the Sana rebels will attack, and then like Khmer and Ayutthaya just come in and fight the whole war for me. I just have to grant them food access, and it's pretty simple. So, all right, so he's unloyal. Let me just improve opinion. Where was that colony? Production society. I'm building a colony here. So now I get kind of free diplomats. Alright, so they're slightly stronger than them now. So they have 3. It looks like they lost somebody. Claims on provinces. So it looks like I can now do the claims on provinces. What is my military at? Regulars. Alright, let's let those build. See, because the nobles have so much power, burghers, they start to build these buildings themselves. There's no way to not do it, so they continue to get more power. It's a constant struggle, right? Like in terms of like, how do you do? These temples have started to finish, so it's to start to rebalance it back out. All right, so I have the 300. I'm gonna declare war on them. I feel like this is like my white whale. I need to get these back. And I have a home as a vassal. We are slightly stronger than. Now their allies have to kind of go through a lot of these, and they have to purchase military access. And this one's even further. I don't think that they're gonna help out on the war. Because they have to purchase military access, ask for food rights, like that stuff's not. These guys aren't gonna let them do that. So, all right. So let's raise all levies. We'll consolidate them all here in the north. Start to up. All right. So we have all these guys up. Sure, these guys don't. Don't go right through and just get completely snap wipes. The other thing I wanted to make sure I do before I go into war, diplomacy, relations, manage subjects, make sure that they're supportive. I have to pause here for a second. Sorry about that. I had a pause, so if you see a weird break in the action. So last we looked, we were about to invade Kamada for the 4th time. I wouldn't even do it if they didn't just piss me off the fact that I couldn't do it 4 times. So I might fail again here. So we'll see. So and that music is getting quite loud, so I'm gonna turn the music down again. Like when you go to war, it lets you know that you're at war because the music goes like 10 times the volume. It's kind of like when you're watching TV and a commercial comes on, and they want to make sure that the people that pay for the ads, you can hear it a lot clearer than the spot. Oh, they're going right through the exactly where I didn't want them to go. So I had a lot of problems with um, attrition going in for this fort. I want to make sure that I like properly create a power base of supply going in, or I go and siege the fort. So looks like he's already sieged this fort, which is already my vassal's already done that for me. Um, and I want to merge, send him in, send him in, and I want to have this guy allow them to attach because this guy's just going to his inevitable death and going to ruin the war score. So there's their 10k stack. Let's slow this down. Let's detach a siege in case he starts to come after me. Um, I'm gonna be more proactive and fight him. Hope. I think I'm gonna lose this battle. Oh God, why was that morale so low? All right, we're speeding ahead to loss number 4. Oh wait, so infrastructure stability investment, efficiency, production speed, prosperity. I don't even have navies. So let's finish those. Hopefully he goes and gets my fort. Um, I got trapped. 1000K that I put forward. So, all right, let's go back here. I think if you siege this, it at least gets you can at least see a little bit more of the supply, or where the troops are. All right, let's send in big stack. I'll have me recover my morale before I march into there. Still be hidden there. It's blocked by the Fargo War. Okay. I have food. And I have my man. I'm almost at the cap on stability. Not gonna kill my stability here though. Alright, so he's got low morale. Let's detach a siege and wipe him out. I've noticed if you still click on the army, it goes slow, but if you click on a different army, it goes fast. Especially when it's like inevitable sieges like that. So that was a big loss on his end. He had low morale. And now I have 2 stacks with my Vassal Swarm and my big stack to siege, which are keeping protected. If he only has 5,000 troops now, he might get more. And that's what happened to me the last war, where he was down to 2,000 troops and he was able to raise levies. And even though I had 60% of his country sieged, he was able to raise levies. And because it was a religious war CB, I also wasn't. Shoot. Oh, perfect. Okay, I caught him with low morale. And he is going to stack wipes, but this is going to be a positive outcome for me. All right, so other than that first hiccup, it's going pretty well. I think where it gets tricky is getting. I don't want to go to the next siege until I'm done with this siege, just so that I'm protected in case some of his allies do eventually come in. But he can't go here or there because he can't get past these forts. Can't get past these forts without suffering attrition. So I've kind of boxed him in. See, I'm getting supply. I'm just gonna wait here. Wait here. I continue to supply. Oh, caught him again. Vassal treated. I didn't have the supportive on. Actually, I had the supportive on, but I didn't have. They allow them to attach to my units the last time, and that was an issue because they were just off doing their own thing, even though it was supportive, and they were small stacks, and the AI was just wiping them. But this fort was a pain in the ass. It seems like it's a level 2 fort. Did I improve relations? I have so much money, right? While I'm here, I want to make sure that they are getting it. Buildings that I can do that while I'm temples. The other thing I saw, or I got from one of the notes on one of my videos, was the bailiffs can provide more proximity, but it provides a lot more noble power. So it's not looking like something. I mean, they already have 50% of the power in my country, more than all of almost all more than all of us combined. The thought is I can return cores to provinces. I might need to take a look at back here so that any levies. I've created kind of like this choke point where I have supply. I'm slowly sieging this fort down. Um, 300 days. Still not even at positive percentage. Assuming this mountain prestige. I want to lose more prestige because urge. Kill him. Era. Uh, oh, I gotta go there. I'm not gonna go there until they siege this fort, so I'll just keep this here. He seems to be wanting to do here to try to cut me off from supply. Um, so I'm gonna continue to stay. He's just walking into its death each time, so it's kind of into a trap. He's not gonna go here because he get a lot more troops. Um, there's plenty of food supply. He's trying to cut this off so that I start to lose my. He's doing the same strategy. Let me try this way, so I'm not like suffering a river crossing. Yeah. And I don't want to. Oh, there. Perfect. Okay, so let's go there. Let's go there. Theory that should get all these. They're in the zone of control. I'm not going to siege this fort until this is done. So he doesn't come around the back. Okay, so I have all of these. The only places he can go are here, where he come attack me, and he doesn't have a lot of troops. I think I just be patient. I know I want the war to be over as soon as possible. Lack of food, so lack of food. Let's take this. All right, let's just stay. Let him stay here. Let him kind of Christian himself. Air. Subsidize buildings. He was down to 2,000 and he was able to just summon, assuming this is his capital, which is why he's able to get us so much. See, where's the control? I see his control. Yeah, his capital's here. But once I siege that, I go to his capital. And I'm just letting him kind of do this here. Like, otherwise, it's just gonna be the same game of whack-a-mole. I'm not losing a lot of troops. It's mostly my vassals. Once he gets to positive, I'll go and back. But I'm in no rush. I'm hoping to siege his down first. All right, so now I'm at 7%. He's still at 28. Focus on quality. Offensive. I want to go towards offensive. All right, so how do I sue for Pete? I want to just understand how do I go to. Oh, I didn't realize you could span all forts. How do I return? I'm on a CB that. Oh, maybe I'll let the AI kind of suggest. Status quo. Like I thought, his allies like have no way of getting to me, so it's and not even making progress. Sortage. Likely fail if we try to assault. Supply shortage. He's making progress now. So while I had a huge advantage in terms of time, got up because cannons. Alright, well, now it's an chance of exceeding urge. Finally. Okay. Alright, I might be able to catch him there. Let's go on. System. Oh, morale. So now there's 2 forts. Um, see how quickly we can go. I can always deceive. Attach siege. And head over here. What I had was I can same thing he did. I siege all of the theory. He should have no access to food after this. Death is inevitable now. Um, 89%. All right, so there I can make him just a vassal, but I want to weaken him by giving him a home's return cores. Return. So I can like ask for um that's my offer is just cash. Right, I paused the video just so I can kind of look at that more in detail. I didn't want um it to be 10 minutes me just exploring what the hell to do. Quite boring. Um, so if I go to pseudo piece, it looks like go through all of these seem to be the two lands that a home has cores on, and I can diplomatically return them to him after the fact. But let me just make sure that um, oh yeah, you see it says home has a core there. So those are over there. So where's it? Home has odd. Uh, okay, so a home there. So it's kind of like this in the middle of his land. It's like cores. So I think that some of these are probably how it was originally was, or he's lost cores on some of these, or he didn't have actual cores on them. So I'm gonna do a trial here. I guess I can always burn it if I up, but um, And then I want them to become a vassal. Now I have a nice juicy vassal there. And I think that's how I have to probably play it with this guy. He's gotten quite big. I mean, he's all the way down here into my Malacca. He's almost hoping he declares war because these guys will come in and crush him. But it's at gold. We'll go from there. So let's. All right. So now let's do a trial. Diplomatic. That's it. Diplomatic. I don't know, actions. Return land. I want to return land to that. Okay, so I think I finally figured it out. So C province. Okay, let's take it from there. Oh, I guess same time. C look. What did I do? C. What is my control there? Yeah, I might that to. All right, I'm gonna take it from there. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time on an episode.